I did a lot of research in Europe, and I came across a quote by Giorgio Armani, which said that the difference between style and fashion is quality. And I've remembered it since, because what it says to me is that fashions come and go, as you know, but style stays forever. And when somebody buys something that is high quality, they want it to last a long time. So Trinidad and Tobago is on the verge of establishing itself as a fashion center, and we want to become reputable for high quality. High quality is earned, as you know, so that when you look at markets such as Germany, France, and Italy, they spent years developing that reputation for quality. So that even though a garment or a product from Italy may not be high quality, when you see the product in a store, immediately you start thinking, this made in Italy must be good. May not be so, but that reputation is what we want to develop for the Made in TNT brand. Now, unfortunately, as Violet indicated, if the product is not manufactured here in Trinidad and Tobago, it will not have a Made in TNT label. It was designed here in Trinidad and Tobago. So what we are trying to get the industry is to have a created in Trinidad and Tobago label. One, or it will have both, designed in Trinidad and Tobago, manufactured in wherever. This quality that we're talking about is not just the quality of design. Quality encompasses the entire product. So we're talking about the inputs, and particularly inputs. If you're looking at a high quality product for a luxury market, all the inputs must be of high quality as well. You appreciate that? So you cannot be selling this shirt, I won't say who the designer is by, for $1,100. And when I wear it for like 2 months, the thread starts to dishevel, the buttons fall apart, the buttonholes get too big so that the buttons keep coming out all the time, or I discover any other defects because I've paid so much money for it. So all your inputs have to be high quality. All your manufacturing methods have to be the best quality as well when you are targeting that luxury market or high-end market. So what is quality? It's a buzzword, but you can't use it interchangeably. Quality is the characteristics of a product that impact on its ability to satisfy consumer needs, wants, and desires. There are many different definitions. One is fitness for use, one is degree of excellence, another is exceeding customer expectation, conforming to requirements, and measurement of satisfaction. A point to note, however, is that the next generation of fashion consumers want high quality at low prices. Long ago, when you thought of quality, you would immediately think high price points, but that is no longer so. So you are now tasked with the challenge of producing high quality goods at affordable prices. Think about that. There are three quality functions, and one is quality assurance, which I think you know about, and that's the planned, systematic, and ongoing monitoring system that provides assurances to users. You have to be the quality controller as the designer or the owner of the brand. A regulatory process through which actual quality performance is measured and compared with an established standard, and that established standard, of course, would be our standard at the TTBS. Any disparity is actioned to regulate quality. And then there's inspection, and what we are saying in this total quality management tool that I'm going to talk about is that that inspection process may not be necessary. And it costs a lot of money to do inspection. If you introduce quality at the beginning and have it through all the phases in the production of the product, there's no need for inspection. so that every phase hands over to the next phase and they do their own quality control. So for example, you have your pattern drafting lab that produces the pattern for the sample maker. Before that pattern leaves the pattern drafting lab, it has to pass the inspection of the pattern drafters. When it goes to the sample maker has to ensure that that sample is of the highest quality and there are no defects before it passes on to you, the fashion designer, to present on the catwalk. Inspection is an appraisal activity that compares products and processes with applicable standards. In a total quality management organization, everyone takes responsibility for inspection, and the best inspection takes place at the source when the output is being made in order to correct defects in a timely manner before more inputs are applied to the product development. And the result, of course, is zero defects. Now, it's something that we have to aim for. It's not easy to achieve. Quality principles and management. Quality, or the lack thereof, directly affects the profitability of all business. And you know that. When someone buys a product that doesn't satisfy their needs, wants, or desires, they talk about it. So the cost of repair is a lot higher than if you ensure that the product was of the highest quality before it left you. Marketing professionals are charged with the responsibility of ensuring that they accurately identify customer requirements, define and interpret these needs, then convey them to the relevant departments for the product design and development to begin. Once customer requirements are clearly determined, the product must be designed accordingly. However, the quality of design inputs, including all materials and manufacturing processes, are vital for the product to be successful on the marketplace. And this is particularly relevant to export goods. Sharp fashion management is a term that I coined for the industry. Incidentally, I'm writing books in my retirement about fashion management, strategic fashion management in the Caribbean, because what we have been doing at UTT is using manuals from Europe and the USA, and often the principles and the policies, etc., do not match our needs here in the Caribbean. It's a cutting-edge management tool for fashion businesses to gain and retain competitive advantage in the increasingly competitive fashion market. It requires sharp businesses to become fast response organizations, adopt total quality management throughout the entire organization structure. All staff, from the creative director, which is sometimes you or the designer, to the stitcher, must practice quality control and implement a zero defects policy. Sharp businesses place customers at the top of the organization's totem pole, and Violet alluded to that as well, both internal and external customers. Now, you know that your internal customers are your staff. And if you treat your staff well, you'll get better results. You all know that. So often when you talk about customers, you're talking about the retail customers and your wholesalers and your agents. But the internal customers are very important. Another customer you have to be aware of is your suppliers. If your suppliers are not giving you the high quality inputs, it's going to affect the quality of your products. So you have to work with your suppliers to ensure that if what you're getting is not up to standard, they get up to standard so that what they provide for you meets your needs. Fashion businesses, particularly the ones who are operating in the fourth industrial revolution, must be technology innovators and not just technology users. They embrace all the opportunities that the fourth industrial revolution brings with it. And I have an example here of innovation. As part of my master's project at university, I was asked to come up with a project for recycling clothing. And in my research, I discovered that the UK disposes over 1 million tons of used clothing a year. And the clothing takes, as you know, a long, long time to degrade in the environment. So it has a lot of ill effects to the environment. And we in Trinidad and Tobago also dispose a lot of clothing. And as you know, the natural fibers that you are presently using to manufacture your goods will eventually run out. And all the synthetics as well, because natural resources run out. So what are we going to do? Let's start recycling clothing. So this is an example of recycling wedding dresses. So it's called Bespoke Bridal. Brides will be able to sell the used bridal gowns. Now, some brides hold on to these gowns forever and ever for sentimental value. But the practical ones will know that after the wedding day, and they keep it for a week, it's time to sell it. And what we will do is to disassemble the gown using Wear 2 technology, which we'll talk about, remove all the notions, closures, embellishments, and then remodel the gown's material for the next customer. We also did this project for jeans. It's called Bespoke Jeans. And the reason being, tons of used clothing is discarded annually around the planet. This causes major environmental challenges as cloth takes years to degrade. High cost of raw material is another issue, and raw material for clothing manufacture will eventually run out on the planet. So it's time to recycle. This Wear 2 technology was developed in the United Kingdom, and you can have a read. And if you'd like to find out more about it, you can Google Wear 2 technology to get some information on it. Of course, it's trademark, so anytime you're using it in any of your proposals, etc., make sure that you include TM or an R whenever you're quoting it. Bespoke tailoring, and of course, the bespoke tailoring for women as well, not just for men. Starts with a 2D life of superfine suiting, transformed over time to fit the customer's precise requirements. The suit is then handmade, and there are many, many fittings, sometimes as many as 36 fittings before the suit is finally delivered. The technology that we spoke about speeds up this process to 2 days. So the bespoke suit can now be manufactured in 2 days. And that's the relevance of this project with the innovations in the fashion industry. And that's the end result. High quality suiting in 2 days. Long ago, that would not be possible, but it is now possible as a result of the CAD systems, Optitex, and the cyberware scanner. So what I wanted to do was to have you do a process chart in your head about your particular company, your label, your fashion house, to determine where there are gaps. So from the time the order comes in, if it's for a particular garment that you're making, or from the time you start sketching your collection for Fashion Week, until it is actually produced. See, this is a little homework for you to do, because it'll help you to be able to identify gaps and weaknesses in your label. And a lot of the gaps are related to processes, production processes. So before we leave, let's go it over in theory. So you're preparing for Tobago Fashion Weekend or Tobago Fashion Coda. So you're starting now with your sketches. So you do your sketches, and then you render your sketches. From that, you do your patterns, and the patterns are then used to produce your samples. Go through in detail. You all ever did a process flowchart? All right, so there are symbols that are used for each process. One is for operation, one is for a delay, one is for storage. Google it. Everything can be Googled now. Process flowchart. So you get your symbols and you do the process flowchart either up, down, or side to side and determine where the delays are. That's your key points. And the delays are caused by either the materials or the inputs are not ready, or the staff didn't come out today, or the staff sick, or there's another delay. And at the end of the process flowchart, those areas that you identify as gaps and delays are the weaknesses in your operation that you need to fix in order to become more efficient and tighter. So you're doing one for a custom-made garment that a client ordered, and a separate one for your seasonal collection. And the next time we meet, courtesy Fashion TT, we will actually go over a process flow chart and you'll identify where your gaps can be mended. Before I leave you today, I want you to go home or go back to your business thinking about quality. Quality is what will distinguish Trinidad and Tobago fashion. Remember, we are at the embryonic stage now. We don't have an industry as yet. We have a cottage industry still. And in order for us to become reputable regionally and internationally, we have to be known for something. And that something has to be quality.